Oh, sweet Jesus. Praise the Lord. I never thought they'd do it. They fixed it. They actually fixed it. Hallelujah. Welcome to the Famas. Hello, I'm Raging Amish, and this is the Famas in Black Ops. I know many of you have been eagerly waiting for me to tear into this gun. I have made, for lack of better words, subtle hints as to what I think about this particular French weapon. God, I'm so subtle. I did not approve of the Famas from day one. I didn't lose sleep or walk around steaming in real life, but the gun was a constant annoyance when I played Black Ops. For those of you who don't know, with the recent Annihilation map pack, Treyarch has nerfed the Famas, and I'm thrilled to see it has finally happened. Behind all of my sarcastic remarks, I have reasons for why I thought the Famas was always a problem. I'll go into more detail about the gun in a bit, but to make a long story short, the old version of the Famas had a high fire rate, high damage, and minimal kick. No gun could match it. The community has been begging for a fix, and Treyarch has finally listened. While I am thrilled, I'm also pissed. This nerf has really screwed me over. I had all sorts of material ready for tearing this gun a new one, but now it's all pointless. Remember the Amish calculator from the AK-74 review? I was going to bring it here, but what's the point? I'm too late! What really drives me nuts, however, isn't the fact that we had to wait 7 months for a fix. Oh, no. What gets me is that we have had this situation before. Anyone else remember World at War? Admittedly, I didn't play a lot of said game, but I do know that the MP40 was, and still is, a balanced nightmare. You have countless people running around with one damn SMG. Treyarch made a mistake in balancing World at War. The only thing worse than making a mistake is making that mistake twice. And wouldn't you know it, Treyarch did it again in Black Ops.
We did it again!
Patching the Famas 7 months after the release is a bit of a double-edged sword. On one end, the patch is a big step forward for the Call of Duty series. I'll be the first one to tell you that Black Ops is a solid game. Sure, it has issues, but I think it's too easy to lose perspective on how good the game really is. By giving us a constant stream of patches in an effort to improve Black Ops, Treyarch has only made the Call of Duty experience even better. I give credit where it's due. Treyarch has taken a huge step up in my eyes. Now, I want you to back up for a minute and remember, this patch is a double-edged sword. While I am happy that the gun has been nerfed, Treyarch's not getting off the hook that easy. I'm still bitter. It took 7 frickin' months for Treyarch to fix their mistake. I haven't seen that kind of reaction time since George Bush was in office. What took so long? Were you too busy counting your money? Or maybe you wanted to watch us suffer? Or hell, maybe it really does take 7 months to exorcise your demons.
Please, Lord, help me to release this demon!
So, what exactly has happened to the Famas and how will that affect my review? Well, that's going to be hard to explain. Since the patch hasn't been released to the PC yet, I can't accurately say what's changed. I can tell you what the gun used to be like, and then I'll quote David Vonderhaar on how the Famas changed. I'll cover these changes as we touch on the stats. So to start, I think I should go into what many of you have mandated I touch on, the pronunciation. Indeed, the Famas is one of those guns we can argue about semantics with. Is it the Famas or Famas? Personally, I used to have another name for it, the fag-ass. That's not a slam against gay people either. Gay people are too butch to have ever touched the Famas back in its demon days. Still, I say it's the Famas. Leave it to the French to give us a gun that's hard to pronounce.
I'm French! Why do you think I have this outrageous accent?
Moving on, the Famas is unlocked at level 14. The early unlock is a large part of why the gun has always been so popular. Imagine if the Famas was unlocked at level 40 or so. Would it still have been such a popular gun? I don't know. It's a fun theoretical question. Like most assault rifles, the Famas features automatic fire, but is special because it has the highest default fire rate in the game. The Famas shoots at a rate of 937.5 RPM, with a mag size of 30 rounds. The high fire rate alone is already a very powerful tool, but on top of that, the shots do 35 to 25 damage. As I've touched on many times before, 35 to 25 damage is practically the same thing as 40 to 30 damage. The Famas is a 3 to 4 hit kill by default, or a 3 hit kill to the head at any range. This is something that has always managed to get to me. I don't get why Treyarch has bothered to differentiate between 40 to 30 assault rifles and 35 to 25 assault rifles. The gun is still a 3 to 4 hit kill. Did the entire development team fail basic math? I honestly think the gun was supposed to do 30 to 20 damage, but then someone accidentally made a typo and bam, the Famas was born. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but the crux of the issue with the Famas has always been the high damage and high fire rate. For a gun to have these strengths, you would expect a strong weakness. Up until now, the Famas didn't have that weakness. That's why I have always felt the Famas was designed for fairies. The people who used it didn't want to bother giving themselves a challenge, and ruined a large part of the Call of Duty experience.
What if I promise not to be gay anymore? Pinky swear!
Anyway, continuing with the stat sheet, the Famas actually isn't anything special when it comes to the range of the bullet damage. Like most assault rifles, the Famas drops off at 37.5 meters. This is a medium range drop-off, so the Famas has always been able to hold its own on the abundant supply of close quarter maps. Now, I want you all to brace yourself, because believe it or not, the Famas actually has some pretty run-of-the-mill stats.
What?
It's a shocker, I know, but once you get past the bullet power and fire rate, the Famas is pretty mediocre, and in some cases, pretty bad, especially with the recent nerf. For instance, the penetration is average, with medium power. Now, here's where I'm finally going to touch on the nerf. You see, up next is the crosshairs. Previously, the Famas had standard assault rifle crosshairs, but with the patch, Treyarch has made these crosshairs bigger. This assault rifle was once a match for the SMGs up close in terms of hipfire. That's not the case anymore. The minimum size of the crosshairs is still the same, but when on the move, the crosshairs are now larger and more or less on par with the FAL. Hip firing is still effective, but not as effective as it used to be. You're better off using your sights to maintain accuracy. Moving on, the drop time on the Famas comes in at 0.7 seconds, and the raise time used to be 0.75 seconds. The raise time is another element of the recent nerf. Supposedly the raise time has increased, but let's be honest here. This is one part of the nerf that I don't give a about. You don't switch to the Famas. You switch from the Famas to a pistol or launcher. What's important is the drop time, not the raise time. This part of the nerf means little. One section of the nerf that does make a difference is the slower ADS time. The Famas used to have the standard ADS time of a quarter second, but from what I can tell, I think it has been lowered to 0.35 seconds. This is actually pretty significant.
Just a flesh wound.
I could be wrong, but I think that's what happened. The slower ADS time makes the Famas kinda sluggish. Slay-to-hand Pro is arguably a mandate now. The gun is overall slow without it. The reloads, however, remain unchanged. These are quite similar to the AUG reloads. The default reload is decent at 2.5 seconds, and the empty reload is overall slower at 3.3 seconds. The mag physically enters the gun at the 1.9 second mark, so learning to reload cancel can come in handy. Up next is the recoil, and here's where I'm going to start sounding really fuzzy. Why, may you ask, would I be fuzzy? Well, I can't really say for certain what Treyarch did. I've tried asking for answers. This is the response I got.
Mind your own business!
I can tell you what the old recoil profile is. The Famas had a value of 60 up and to the right, 10 to the left, and 20 downwards. If you forced me to guess, I'd say the recoil profile didn't change. I shot the Famas at a wall before the nerf to get an idea of what the recoil looked like. The image on the left is the Famas before the nerf. The image on the right is the Famas after the nerf. The net direction is still up and to the right. If you ask me, the direction of the kick hasn't changed, So I'm going to say the recoil profile hasn't changed either. Maybe it got a slight tweak, but I think what really determines a gun kick is the center speed, not the recoil profile. I feel strange saying the recoil is determined by a stat I don't fully understand, but it's true. The center speed was 1600. I'm guessing it's been lowered to 1500. This would fit with what David Vonderhaar said. He said the center speed was reduced and that the gun has more kick. Reducing the center speed would give the gun more kick, so I say they lowered the center speed, specifically to 1500. The gun feels like it picked up some extra kick with the patch, so I say that's what changed.
Idiot.
Finally, we have the irons. We have seen these irons before. They were on the G11. The irons are solid. You don't need a sight, but hey, that's just my opinion. Alright, enough of the guessing and opinions. Let's get into solid fact. So, here we go with the attachments. Extended mags. This is a pretty solid attachment. Since the fire rate is so high on the Famas, you may find that the 30 round capacity just ain't gonna cut it. Extended mags will give you a 45 round mag, and additionally reduces the number of times you have to reload. Extended mags will give you the flexibility to not pick sleight of hand. The attachment is good. Dual mags. Both of the mag altering attachments are rock solid on the Famas, but I'd say dual mags is a bit better. You get 2 spare mags, which is good considering how fast the Famas chews through ammo. But more importantly, the attachment helps lessen the time you spend reloading. You can't go wrong with dual mags. Red dot sight, reflex sight. A lot of people will sing their praises about the sights. Personally, I don't quite get it. This attachment just makes me feel like a whore. I've heard one too many people say, use the red dot on the Famas. Thankfully, I only used it for a bit. I immediately followed up my use of the red dot sight with a night of booze and women to balance things out.
Really? Yeah, then it cancels out the gay polarity.
I look at it this way. The irons are clean. You don't need a red dot sight. I understand that the precision of this attachment is nice to have, but it's only a cosmetic effect. You're better off learning how to handle the irons so you can use something else. Suppressor. This attachment has always managed to annoy me. The Famas is the ultimate source of power, and what do people throw on it? A suppressor. I get the logic. The suppressor is a really good fit when you consider the gun has strong shots and a good fire rate. The attachment has little penalty, but that's my problem with it. The suppressor has at best a minor penalty. The range of the 3-hit kill is lowered. Oh my, whatever will I do? Oh wait, I know. Shoot the guy with a 4th bullet. Die!
Stupid.
The suppressor has always been a bit of a pet peeve of mine, so I guess opinion is shining through here. The attachment is solid. I can't deny that. I just think it's a little too solid. Master key. Next. Okay, in all seriousness, the Famas is more reliable when fired from the hip. I don't advise this attachment. Flamethrower. It's a glorified blowtorch. I'll refer you to what I said about the master key. Next. Grenade launcher. Jesus, are all of the underbarrel attachments crap? I've slowly been drifting to the opinion that a well-placed frag is better than a grenade launcher. I say carry a LAW or RPG if you really want that explosive launcher. ACOG sight. I must be high. I seem to have found a gun where the ACOG is actually a half-decent fit. Picking this attachment gives you extra zoom but lowers the center speed, so kick is a definite issue. If you can learn to burst fire, the ACOG can be incredibly effective. I can't believe I'm saying this. Try the ACOG out. Infrared scope. Okay, seriously, where's the real scope? Come on, this can't be it. Just take that big bulky thing off and show me the real scope. Wait, that is the real scope? Really? Ew.
Ugly.
It looks like the gun has a gigantic white Tootsie Roll on top of it. Alright, let's get your mind off that abomination. How about we take a look at the perks? For the blue perk, I think you'll find that any choice is a good choice. The Famas is overall solid, which means you have plenty of flexibility with your blue perk. For the red perk, I say sleight of hand. The Famas now has a poor ADS time, and since the fire rate is so high, you will be constantly reloading. Sleight of hand is a natural fit. For the green perk, I'm going to take the cop-out route. Any perk is a decent fit. The green perk depends far more on your playstyle than anything else. So, that's pretty much a wrap on the Famas. Overall, I'm happy with the current state of the Famas. I like that Treyarch has finally fixed the gun by giving it more recoil. But I won't be forgetting this screw-up anytime soon. Seriously, who designed this thing?
That would be the French.
But before I go, we need to take a look at zombies. I can't forget the undead, so here goes. The Famas in zombies is absolute crap. Go figure. The weapon strength is okay, but the capacity is horrid. You get 180 rounds. That's not enough. You'll run out of ammo incredibly quick. I do not like this rifle. When you put the Famas in the Pack-a-Punch, you get some leet name that I'm not sure if I can pronounce right. So we're just going to call it the Giggles. The Giggles gives you a little bit more ammo and a red dot sight, but it's definitely not worth 5,000 points. The ammo loadout is too small. I will say this, however. The Pack-a-Punch Famas gets something along the lines of a 9-time damage multiplier to George Romero. In Call of the Dead, few weapons are so good when trying to kill George. If you want more than 4 perks, consider this gun a free ticket to knocking the old man out. George Romero, Bob Kelso, close enough. With zombies done, that brings me to the end of the Famas. Here we are, 7 months after the game came out, and I'm finally getting to what most of us have considered to be an abomination. It's so weird to finally get here just to find out it got nerfed. I feel so quasi-happy. I mean, yay, the gun got a fix, but Jesus, it took 7 months. It's like being told you finally have a cure for herpes. I mean, it's great and all, but you'll never forget about that itch. End of the day, I love the attention Treyarch is giving to its game. I guess this is a reminder to me of what customer support feels like. Honestly, I hope Treyarch and Infinity Ward keep improving their games, and patch when they screw up. I mean, this is starting to make me feel downright spoiled. As far as the nerf goes, only time will tell how much the patch has actually done. Personally, I say the Famas is now on par with the AUG, which brings at least some semblance of fairness to the game. The weapons balance is still debatable, but at least the Famas isn't the clear-cut winner anymore. I'm going to say this before I leave you. Feel free to try out the Famas. I'm not crucifying anyone anymore for using this gun. This has been Raging Amish. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And please, join me next time when I'll be covering the ASP. Until then, farewell.
Never over.